Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to GH First Media, where we say each is as it is without fear and favor. Thank you once again for joining us. So today we are looking at some group calling themselves Ashanti Democratic Youth for Justice. Ashanti Democratic Youth for Justice. They are calling out on Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa for targeting Ashantis and Akan politicians. My first question is, why Ashantis and Akans? Are Ashantis not Akans? But anyway, for me, this is tribal bigotry, and so we're not going to delve into that aspect of it, but I want us to deal with the fact. They are calling out Okudzeto Ablakwa for targeting some Akan politicians in their dealings in government. So to them, his target is to bring down the Akan politicians, but sparing other politicians from other jurisdictions or other tribes. Let us listen to these guys and then we delve into the fact of the issue. I'm not going to call them Ashanti Democratic Youth for Justice, but I will name them Youth for Justice or Democratic Youth for Justice. Let us listen to these guys and then we will delve into few facts, whether or not they are right. But before then, let's look at this thing quickly. According to Ghana Statistical Services, the number of multidimensional poor persons is highest in the Ashanti region. Now listen, multidimensional poverty comprises three different dimensions. Number one, monetary poverty, educational poverty, and basic infrastructure services. Now, if these three things, the highest of it all is found in the Ashanti region to be the poorest among all other regions in Ghana, we find the youth of Ashanti region calling themselves Ashanti Democratic Youth and Justice, defending people in government, enriching themselves with their taxes instead of fighting to alleviate this poverty in their region. Where have we left our conscience? Why do we refuse to think as human beings? Listen to these guys and then we'll delve into the facts.
Nipa ye kana semi ya brantia wenya kwan na osom ne man for North Tongua ye fe no Okudzeto Ablakwa sa brantia yi efa na fofora no de dru mpanifo a eye amanyosem a aida se omoye asantefo anase omoye akanfo enti watu na ni asi akan ene asantefo so a eno na odi gi ne din wa amanyosem mu na ye mu de enya amanyosem ne wa ha se NDC ayefo na se ono so betimi akopre presidential slot ni bia de ye ka se ne se enya asantefo ene akanfo a abobra wa amanyosem mu ene odi edi ekopre sa slot ni wa NDC enti ene se obehwa abrantie yi be sori bia betina TV so a nipa o ka ne ho asem no eye akani anase asantini na asantefo boni be na ye Okudzeto Ablakwa se ye tena ho na ye enye hwe a mpanifo se enye hwe ene ma abrechiri ba ofro ne maame enti yen ayaye mabunu a yesi ani gi amanyosem ho no yen kan no ntum enka se enye hwe Okudzeto de saa na ote enne ye ka manate ase se nema ekoso Ghana osori ana o ka ne se de ono nko a na odo man no yen de ye hu akiri na de ye ka se ne se so fa na fofora enya asantefo so odibi di president kofo ye kan anotu mu odibi edi ono ane party baton edu emedu baabi na papa no osu odibi edi misa kusiboafo odibi edi sofo Victor kusiboaten na anye bia de edem kobone na akanfo yaye no wo hwe president Akufo-Addo wo hwe na Asante bedi eto enne die odi free attorney general Godfrey de bo adame so no wate asi Brian na champion so ena onam no de na etwe apia na wo hwe fra no pakosi anwumre medical card o se enye hwe na ma abrichiri ba fo ne maame enti ye ntena ho na ye nka se enye hwe wo no de wo fa na keka saa na oka no enti enyai enti enne ye ka masa owura nate na me de ma no sikra no anoma bi esu agumasum se nanu ya maame bia wo fa Ghana sika twitwiri dia court wadi na sema ye hwehwe na ye hu no said nam ationu tamaklo benya ne ntie se bra wo kwa America no okokra Okudzeto Ablakwa ema otam sika kra de maame no se onye no fa bi nche ne ho no onko enne court adi na sema wie eno ho asebe na Okudzeto Ablakwa aka ana ene de ofri ni krom enti na onka ho asema ana enti ye de ye ka che ne se wafa na fofora ye mabuna ye waka mamu ne ya Asante man de ye ntena ho ema obi ti se Okudzeto Ablakwa 7 preduasa yen nama fomu a Yeni atrebe ni nyenya ntre ni suwo. Na nsansono ene mu akese ne no mu di ahuse onhu bi da. Na juma waye nyina ne se obedi deputy minister ne onnamu amanosem no ya odi MP no. Yesi akamfo yenye ne bone. Enti wiase we so no penifo se nye obi bibi ni obi bibi ene de waye ni ye. Enti de e ka che na ne se edru baabi a enye obi ne kuma ntwi se de edi kan no. Bo si akuna de ne ti eje atrema. Yeda masi.
Wow. It's like you can never be astounded enough in Ghana. Like day in, day out, things happen and you ask yourself, do we actually have a future as a country? How would a group calling themselves Democratic Youth for Justice spewing out this sort of tribal bigotry and think that they are making some sort of sense? And then the media houses are giving such things audiences. Such things, I mean, the messages being put out, but not the people. Why give such messages audiences? Listen, all right, they are claiming that Okudzeto Ablakwa is targeting Ashantis and Akan politicians that have lived. Now, let's look at a few facts. The things Okudzeto Ablakwa is putting out there, are they true or not? That's the first question we should ask ourselves. Is what he's putting out there true or not? Number one, the National Cathedral, because they mentioned Reverend Kusiboating. Reverend Kusiboating got two different names. Tell me if that is not a crime on its own. Now, the fact of it, National Cathedral is costing the taxpayers some millions of dollars, which was being diverted to a company that had no record in construction. That is the first thing. So if this cannot be spoken about by anybody to save the taxpayers' money or to save the country that huge sums of money, and what you see wrong with it is the person behind the crime is an Ashanti, therefore should not be spoken about, I weep for Ghana. And such people, you people mounting that platform and spewing that rubbish, should not be calling yourselves Youth for Justice, because this is not doing justice to anybody, not for the country, not for yourself sitting there, and not for the future generation. So you think twice. Number two, the Bank of Ghana head office mystery. We all heard about this Bank of Ghana building costing the taxpayers some $81 million according to the papers or the document presented to Parliament. But by checks, it is to cost the taxpayer some $250 million and over. When the country is in such economic woes, and you think spending $250 million on a building is what the country needs right now, aside the cathedral, the Bank of Ghana wants to put up a head office worth over $250 million. And you think this is something that should be swept under the carpet? And it is spoken about, and it is because an Ashanti or an Akan is behind it. It is justifiable. Excuse me? Are you people for the country, or you are for your stupid tribes? I don't care if Okudzeto is where he's Ashanti, he's from the north, whatever tribe he's coming from. This should not be happening in any country whatsoever. If you have the country at heart, you will not be sitting down and spewing out that garbage. Come again, people. Number three, 48 million contract awarded by ESLA without the PPA approval. Listen, ESLA also is an Akan. Yes, we know that. But how would you award a contract worth $48 million to a person without approval? And ESLA is a lawmaker in Parliament, and so she knows this, that you cannot award a contract without PPA approval, without Public Procurement Authority approval. But she awarded that contract with $48 million. This one too, we shouldn't speak about it because ESLA is an Akan, right? ESLA is also an Akan, so we shouldn't speak about it, right? And you think you are doing justice, so you call yourself Democratic Youth for Justice. The Ashanti you put there is annoying my soul, so I'm not going to mention it because that is stupid tribal. I won't do that. You call yourself Democratic Youth for Justice, and you think that she should award that contract and nothing is wrong with it. Really? And then number 4, $187 million Gabby Otredakun was fighting for to be paid to his client West Blue, a judgment that he was fighting for to be paid for his client, whereas the current government reviewed that contract to West Blue. And so if a contract was re-awarded, where is the judgment debt? But Gabby was fighting for that money, 187 million Ghana cedis, to be paid to that client. Is this not a scandal? And also because Gabby is an Akan, we shouldn't speak about it. So when Akans are in affairs, the country should keep losing money. And then you have people as shallow as this group calling themselves Democratic Youth for Justice, trying to defend this stupidity. Where are we headed? If the youth are thinking this way, why won't the old fools be taking this for granted? If the youth are mounting platforms to be defending this level of atrocities against the country, yo, people, we can do better than this, man. Final on my list, the number 5, the Heaven scandal. And this, look, it was found out that the land around the Kotoka International Airport is a very prime area. We all know that. You cannot get a land in that area for less than $500,000. You cannot. It is not possible. But you know what happened? It was found out that some 38.14 acres of land was being sold for a meager $85 million to a company formed, of course, by this government. 85 million for 38 acres of land around Kotoka International Airport, a prime area as such. Whereas in that area currently, or at the time of this expose, acre of land was being sold for not less than $4 million. But that area, 38 acre of land, was being sold for 85 million. Tell me, even by a rough calculation, we shouldn't be realizing nothing less than $152 million if those lands were to be sold. And again, it shouldn't be spoken about because we've got Akans in the helm of affairs. If you should be fighting for anything at all as a youth, calling yourself Democratic Youth for Justice, it should be for the people in your region, fighting for them to elevate them from the poverty that has engulfed, that has taken over, that has swamped your region, not fighting for people who are enriching themselves in government. Think, people. You mentioned Reverend Kusibuating specifically, so I'll mention him. He's in court, or he's been in court. Are you following the case? How is the case progressing? Before you come out to spew that rubbish. You are talking of Akufo-Addo. He is the president of the nation, the clearing agent. What has he done as far as corruption is concerned? You've spoken about Brian Achampon. Brian Achampon currently in the case of the hotels, buying the properties of the country hotels, because it's an account. We shouldn't speak about it. You are talking of Ashanti Bediotio, or whatever it is. Where is it right now? What did he do? Was he not the one directing people to the government to take money? People, you are talking of Gabby Otredakun. Gabby Otredakun, really? Who is he in government? Who is he in the helm of affairs? But he is the de facto prime minister of this country, looting the country right back center. All these people you are mentioning are Akans, correct? Tell me if they can cleanly wash their hands and say they didn't do anything to cause this country any loss. All these people you've mentioned, Reverend Kusibuating, President Akufo-Addo, Brian Achampon, Ashanti Bediotio, Gabriel Otredakun, Esla Owusu, I am adding her. All these people, yes, they are Akans. You have mentioned them. Tell me if they can wash their hands clean that they haven't caused this country any form of loss as far as corruption to this nation is concerned. And you are mounting a platform to spew these things? I am disgusted, people. We are the youth of this country. We are to hold them to accountability. They should be accountable to us, not us defending their stupidity and their rots. We can't build a nation like this. What sort of legacy are we leaving for our generation or the future children to come? What sort of legacy are we leaving for them? Let us be circumspect. We cannot continue like this on this tribal trajectory and think that we can build a country. We cannot build a country like this. Fact must be spoken out, regardless who it is concerned. Look, I'm telling you, if NDC comes to power and that Okudzeto Ablakwa does not know and he goes otherwise, we all have records of the things he's doing. If anything happens in the next NDC government, look, you will hear me again. This is GH Fresh Media. Thanks for being with us.